Uh-oh. That was funny. I hit the wrong intro. But anyway, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another day, another video podcast. So on today's topic, we're going to talk about becoming a real estate agent, and maybe now is the time to become a real estate agent. Reason why I want to talk about this topic is because a lot of people out there that are inspired by this video or these videos that I do on YouTube, a lot of people want to become a real estate agent. And now's the time to become a real estate agent, I think, especially the way that the market is. So today we're going to be talking about the process of becoming a real estate agent, the benefits, the downfalls, the pitfalls, things that you should look out for. Then after that, we're going to be talking about anything, any questions that you may have. If you guys want to call into studio, or if you guys want to type something into the chat. Also, if you have not had a chance to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also give us a like too as well. But let's get started with my man, Dan French with Guarantee Rate. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful Saturday here in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. So, haven't seen you, since Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it's been busy. It's like these days, they just go by so quick.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I got my ninja outfit on today.
That, you know what? It does look like a ninja.
Yeah, I feel like a ninja
But
today.
it looks cool, though. I actually like it.
Oh.
And look at the quality of the picture. I love these cameras, dude.
Yeah, cameras are great, man. You got a good setup here.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
Did it all right the first time. I was going to say, real estate agents, that topic's going to be a good one. I think there's a lot of people that are looking to transition.
Yeah.
But let's also give the bad side.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're going to talk about everything. If you guys have any questions, want to call live in studio, 702-409-4495. Again, that number 702-409-4495. As far as the Las Vegas, man, what's going on with Las Vegas news?
Las Vegas news, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening. We're pretty much on 25% capacity right now for a lot of these places.
Mm-hmm.
I think California is a little bit more on lockdown than we are.
Did they shut down the bars, you were saying?
I don't know if they shut
like
the
bars, restaurants.
I think they're just lowering the capacity of people that go into them. I don't know if they shut them down completely.
Yeah. I
think there's places in LA or not LA, but California that they've actually shut down some sectors. I'm not sure. But I mean, think about LA and compare it to Vegas. It's such a difference in population.
I think they're 40 million or something crazy?
I mean, there it's going to spread like a wildfire, the COVID. So...
And that's literally wildfire.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I just talked to a client today. She said she wanted to move out here because of a lot of those wildfires, right?
I mean, look, and one of the things that Vegas gets is they get the aftermath of the wildfire. Like if there's fires in California, all of that smoke comes here. Mm-hmm. I've seen it where it looks like an apocalypse. Some days because there's so much smoke in the air. Yeah. And the smell of it, Mm-hmm.
Now. Let me ask you this. I mean, we talked about this. You did mention that you wanted to become a real estate agent, right? And are you still in the process of getting your real estate license?
Yeah, so everybody's got to take a test. And it's definitely, brought that to my attention to, become a real estate agent. You have to take a test and you have to go through a process. You have to pay your fee. And... when I talk about real estate agents, real estate agents are always a little bit more, it's a little bit harder than people think. The test is easy, but it's the actual business part of it. And then getting started is really the hard part of it. So, it looks glamorous. Yeah. It looks like, everybody can become that $1 million real estate agent at some point, but some people never get there. It's not an easy path.
So, let me ask you this. I mean, you considered becoming a real estate agent. Why would you consider becoming a real estate agent? Like, seriously?
Well, you have to understand that if I was somebody that was just going to be, going into getting a real estate agent license 10 years ago, I would probably reconsider or think about it because it's hard. The reason why I'm thinking about it now is I've been in the game so long and look at all different angles.
It's like pretty much all you know, right?
Yeah, it's all this industry. I mean, like I know all angles of title, of this, of real estate, investing. Not as much as you on the investing side, but I did learn some things, especially from Colt
Yeah.
So, I think what it is that it's one of those things that if you've been into something as long, like most people that make money, especially on businesses, they always become an expert at one specific thing and then they branch off and make that specific thing better in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just have enough knowledge that they can, change different angles as far as like, oh, well, I might want to change and do something else that's still related to that industry just because of the knowledge you learn.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons. It's because I've been doing it for so long that it's definitely something to consider, because I don't know as much as you know, obviously, but
Yeah.
I know enough, maybe as much as some of these real estate agents that have been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the reasons. It's all case by case, though.
You know what's crazy is when I see a lot of people, they want to become a real estate agent. They end up becoming an agent, and for the first year, they do so well and they make a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have their sphere of influence, right?
Yeah.
All their friends and family. But once that is done, it all goes downhill. Also,
Yeah.
what I was told is that, and I don't know how accurate this is, but we have roughly about 18,000 agents. And a lot of agents that do come in this industry, they only do like 1 or 2 deals a year. And there's only a handful of agents that can actually make it. And people don't really understand that becoming an agent, you don't just sell homes. There's so much behind the scenes. It's really, you're running a business, dude.
Yeah. I think that real estate agents, GLVAR is the one making the money, because
Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors.
you think about it, a lot of people probably get a return on what they've spent.
Yeah.
But as you recruit, there's a lot of real estate offices out there that recruit just to get, they don't care if you close 1 deal or 5 deals or, whatever. You could be the most, novice or beginner type realtor. They're going to hire you.
Yeah.
And so I think with some brokers out there, their model is just to get as many people as they can, and you can be almost like a foot soldier. You know what I mean? For the company, it's like, hey, you might only close 1 or 2 deals, but that's 1 or 2 deals the company didn't have. But to make it a career and be successful,
It's completely, you're really running a business, and it's a hard business.
you're grinding.
But what I like about this business is you can do this 2 ways to be successful. Number one, if you have money, you can get into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can make some money. Now, if you don't have money, but you're willing to put in the hard work and the sweat equity, you can also get there too as well.
Well, and I think a lot of people do it part-time.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be successful at it? I don't know. It determines on what your level of success is.
Yeah, and also depending on your personality. Some people, they think they can get in here and get it done, but it's not easy. And a lot of people just think you go out and sell homes, but reality, when you first get started, this business is all about generating leads. How do you get the leads, right?
Yeah.
And are you good on the phones? And that's what this business is really about. It's only about prospecting. What I mean by prospecting is you get the leads, then you have to convert these buyers, right? The buyers got to like you. They got to feel the confidence. They'll know if you know what you're talking about. People go and sniff that stuff out.
100%. And the thing is, you want to get to a point, though, where you're always going to worry about leads in any situation.
Yeah.
If you're running a store, you got to worry about customers. Same thing as us. It's almost the same thing as leads, right? So when you reference towards that, at some point, though, you want to have enough people where you don't have to worry as much about leads. You're worrying about your sphere.
Mm-hmm.
You have such a big sphere of people that know you and follow you, and people you closed over, 10 years.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like a lead system or lead generation, CRM or anything like that, because, at the end of the day, you already have your people, so long as you take care of your people like you've been doing. So, if you're trying to expand and get more realtors on the team and keep it going, like as an office, it's a must. You have to get leads.
Yeah.
So,
and this is like one of those businesses, like you'll go out, you have buyers, you grow to a point, but if you're trying to take it to the next level, what happens is you need to have a team. So that team can help you to take it to the next level. It's a very tough business. So let's figure out, if you guys are listening out there, if you want to become a real estate agent, how do you know if it's worth your while? Do you have the personality? Well, number one is, are you afraid to make cold calls? Okay. If you're afraid to talk to people on the phone and get hung up on the phone like 100 times a day, this business is not for you.
Especially in the beginning.
Yes, it's going to be harder.
That's when you usually get those types of clients. I
Yeah.
mean, you still get it, but
Now, the other thing is it worth your time? So what you can do, depending on the state you're in, right? Figure out what the median price point for a home in your state. So the average here is 420. Okay. If we did 420 times 3%, and this is not customary of what you make on the commission, but everything is all negotiable. But I'm saying 3% is $12,600 per every deal that you do. Okay. So now you need to ask yourself, right? If you want to become a real estate agent, how much money do you want to make? So if you want to make $100,000 a year, right? Starting, right? 100,000. That tells me that you need to at least do 9 deals a year at $420,000 average. So take those numbers and run it in your state and see if it makes sense. So now that tells me that you're going to have to close 1 deal every single month, right? Now the average deal takes about 45 days to close on a deal, right? Let's just say. Now, how long does it take you to find a lead? How long does it take you to convert the lead, take them out, right? Before you actually get paid. So now we are probably looking about 120 days. So from the time that you start, and this is what people are not aware of, once you become a real estate agent, you start. By the time you get paid, if you hit the ground running, you probably won't be paid until another 4 or even 5 months, depending how your market is.
yeah.
But right now, a lot of people are coming into this marketplace and want to become a real estate agent because they see all the glitz and glamour and all the money that's being made. But you also understand this. You have to put your time in, okay? So I'm going to take you guys from the beginning. How do we become a real estate agent once you determine if this is something that you want to do? So within your city, you need to find an online class or a class that you can physically go to. For me, I learn better when somebody's teaching me. I had to go to a classroom and I had to sit there for hours. And there's certain hours that you're going to have to attend, right? State law, right? Common law and all this stuff. Now, I don't remember everything because this was years ago, but every single year, I always have to get credits. So you always have to be updated.
Yeah.
So the process is you go to class, you get so many hours, you take your test. So now, once you're a licensed real estate agent, right, that means you can sell any home. The next question is, how do you get access to all the homes? So now agents now become a member of the National Association of Realtors. The reason why they do this is because now once they become a member of the National Association of Realtors, they also become a member of the local Association of Realtors. So now, once you become a member, the reason why you want to become a member is because now you have access to all the properties. Because as a real estate agent, they have a platform. You go to like Realtor.com, right? And that's where you get all the listings. Now, you have to pay a fee every single year. Now, once you get licensed and you become a member, now you can start practicing real estate. Okay? So from there, we would have to find a company. Now, let me ask you this, Dan. Let's say you've already gone through that process. You're licensed. You're a member of the National Association of Realtors and also at the local level. You have access to all the properties. What would you do at this point if you're green? Where would you go?
So I would try to find an office where I can hang my license.
Okay. Right? What are the things that you will find in an office?
You will find...
That's going to benefit you. What are you looking for?
That's going to benefit you. Well, a lot of it is coaching. They're going to teach you how to do things as far as they're going to have some type of... people, they always have coaches that come in and teach you the necessary steps to becoming a realtor. They also have some of the tools that you're going to need as far as, sometimes they provide teams that have leads that are coming in already. Yeah. And then they can obviously give them, those leads, and that way you can start off with the ground running. A lot of times they have tools and stuff like maybe a certain intranet or something that you can use that they've been using that's helping them market. like different marketing tools. And so there's a lot of things that they are like, well, what is necessary? What is going to be needed for somebody if they did enter our office? What are they going to be? What do they need to get started? And that way they don't get discouraged. I think a lot of it's discouragement.
Yeah, because I think you're right. Because once they become an agent, they think they can make money, but they realize there ain't no money coming in. But there's a lot of companies out there that offer all kind of incentives, all kind of programs. Look, if you're a brand new agent, right, you need to figure out what niche you want to get into. Right. Because when it comes to like real estate, there's so many niches. So like my niche is brand new homes, building custom homes, and adding value to a home, right? There's certain things that you need to do to build a home to make it where it's worth its money. So that's kind of like my niche. You have guys that do commercial. You have guys that do commercial that specialize in apartment buildings or warehousing. You have guys like even in this company where they specialize like in divorce, probate. Yeah. So it's just depending on what sector that you want to get into. You want to get into wholesaling. You want to get into short selling, foreclosures. You want to get into like REO property. Yeah. So it depends on what sector that you want to get into. But now what you need to do is find out, okay, which company is the best out there? What company has the tools, right, that can help you with your business? And there's a lot of companies out here right now are really falling to the wayside, okay, as far as not keeping up with new technology.
And I think that's a big thing right now because technology is really something that...
It's the wave of the future.
Well, and what does technology do? It gets you a quicker path to finding that lead, in my opinion. Meaning they may have a different marketing system or a marketing setup where it automatically sends out in emails or sends out text messages or keeps touching your clients that are saying, hey, you know what, are you still interested in buying a home? Yeah. In the past, you would have to literally call those people, right? So for me, I still work as a lender, but we have marketing, and what they do is they email on a consistent basis. And I always get, these are just automatic emails. I always get, hey, Dan, thanks for the email. I didn't even email them. It's just my system is marketing to them saying, hey, this is where you're at. You just got an approval. Congratulations. You know, let's, when you're in town or whatever, give us a call if you have any questions. I mean, if you have marketing and if you have artificial intelligence and some things that's going to help your business with that. Yeah. That's really where it's going. Now, there are some companies out there that do provide like a coaching program. Yeah. But they will also charge you a fee to do the coaching program too as well. So you have to take a look at that. So you have to kind of really evaluate your situation and see what you're capable of. And if you can't generate leads and you just don't know where to start, that's probably where you're going to want to go, is to a company that has a coaching program, and they're going to take some of your commissions. And also when we talk about commissions, certain companies will take 25%, 10%. It just depends. Some may just only charge like a transaction fee. So these are things that you also have to take a look at too as well. And if they're taking money from you, right, what are the benefits are you going to get from that company? Yeah. And that's a major role. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes it's worth, to give a little bit of that money, right, for you to get coached to the point where you know what's going on, then you renegotiate or you take off to a different company. I think it's a big thing to find the right spot for you. Yeah. Remember, like when you first started, you didn't really find the right spot. No, I didn't. But however, when I got started, I had a good friend of mine, and he's a mentor to me till this day. And they're closing about, I think, almost about 150 million this year. Like they're crushing it, right? And when I first met up with him, he was actually one of my agents. He was an agent that sold me my first home. Yeah. And I told him, hey, I want to become an appraiser, right? Appraiser, yeah. And he's like, why don't you become a real estate agent? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, dude, you can make a lot of money. So I was like, you know what? I want to give it a shot. And I started digging into it. I'm like, yo, this is the path to financial freedom. Like, this is like one of those things where I can get in, don't need a college degree, but I know that if I got some hustle and heart, tenacity and drive, I could make this thing happen. And, what I did was, he said, go get your license. I'll mentor you. And that was one of the best things I've ever done, was hang my license with somebody who was able to mentor me. Right. And he would get half of my commission, but I didn't care.
because you know why? My first year, all I wanted to do was make a living.
You're putting yourself through college by doing that.
Basically. Right? That's what I did. I just wanted to make a living.
Right.
Right? I didn't even care about how much money I made. I just wanted to become a realtor or a real estate agent that could make a living.
Yep.
So after about a year from there, right, I went over to a different company that had better coaching programs. Like I felt like, I grew. Like I want to take it to the next level.
Right.
So I went to this company. I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but they took a big chunk out of my commission, even more. But with all the programs that they had, they were better. They were better organized.
Right.
As far as like all these different classes and courses. From there, once I was able to master all that, I went to a different company that was at like 100%. And that's where I'm at right now. Simply Vegas.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too, like you're going to be challenged.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that don't believe in you. There's going to be people that, heck, you might not even believe in yourself at times.
Yeah.
But, I think it comes down to that character thing and self-leadership as we talk about. I mean, it's not for everybody, though.
And here's the thing. I used to own a mobile detailing business when I first started.
Uh-huh.
The hard part is that leap of faith to do that transition, because here's the thing. On the mobile detailing, right, 10 years ago, I was making a decent amount of money where me and my wife were surviving. We lived in an apartment at that time, right?
Right.
So what I would do is work part-time as an agent, still detail cars because I had to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But it came to the point where I sat down with my wife and I said, look, I got to take the leap of faith. I know this is scary times. And this is when the market crashed, because I got my license when the market crashed.
Right.
Right?
That's the hardest time.
It wasn't even going down. It was already like rock bottom. As I became a real estate agent, right? All these other people. Hold on. I'm taking this off. I can't even breathe. I'm about to pass out. Okay. So, here's the thing. At that time, I had such a hard time transitioning over at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to take that leap of faith. I finally was like, I'm going to do it, because I knew that this is something I have to do. I have no choice.
Yeah.
And I did it. Mm-hmm. And that was the hardest thing. And I think a lot of people, this is where they run into that problem. Yeah. When they switch over. Because when you're in a comfort level where your bills are getting paid, and you're going to go into sales where you only get paid based upon how hard you work and if you're closing deals.
Well, and
you don't get checks like every single month, dude.
One of the things too is like when you're a real estate agent and when you start out,
yeah,
you know how like if you're like going to go buy somebody's route, let's say you're going to go do landscaping, or you're going to go buy somebody's business that already has an established business with leads. Typically, real estate agents don't say, hey, I'm going to let you buy my business or buy my leads.
Yeah.
So you got to go start from ground zero. So what I'm saying is this is the hardest. It's the easiest and the lowest amount of overhead that you're going to need for as far as starting a business. Mm-hmm. But also it's the hardest to get the business. It's really the hardest business to go generate and sustain business on a consistent level.
And also I remember it's like, after my first year, I was like, man, I just want to make at least $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, after you make that 3,000, you're like, oh my God, I did it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, I just want to make 10,000.
Well, and look, man, there's always going to be somebody bigger.
Yeah.
Everybody's got different goals. Yeah. Like, if you're going to try to like match yourself up to somebody that's been in the game for 25, 30 years.
You can't do that.
You got to do you got to set little goals for yourself and have your own year ending type things that you want to accomplish. Because if you're trying to live up with the Joneses and trying to be a real estate agent and trying to compete with others, they might have had 20 years on you, and they might have, look, some of it's luck and some of it's opportunity.
No,
it's not just,
you know what?
It's not just you jump into it and it's like, oh, well, if I do this, I'm going to get there. You might not get there.
You know what? You're absolutely right. And I feel like I'm fortunate enough. However, I did put in the hard work. Everything that I've built today was through sweat equity, right?
I think,
but you also got to know how to scale.
Yes.
And what I mean by scaling is this. You make some money, you put some money off to the side, right? Then you can only make so much money because there's only one of you.
But I think you have to make a certain amount of money because you got to put that money a lot of times if you're new back into the business.
No, and that's what I'm getting to. And what I mean by scaling is, look, I made so much money. I have this money, right? I'm taking a little bit. I'm marketing towards this campaign, right? I'm going to see how long this campaign can last for if I'm making a return. See if this thing makes sense. So let's just say I'm doing mailers. If I'm spending $500 a month on mailers or $1,000 a month on mailers, whatever it is, you have to be consistent for the next 6 to 8 months, right?
Does that work?
Yes, it does work.
Okay.
But this is how you look at it. You have to take a look at what your returns are. If I spend $10,000 and I'm only making $20,000, right? Because you're taking a risk, right? That's a 50% return. So is it worth it?
When do you see that return, though? Is it right away?
When you close the deal.
No. That's right. Let me say this, though. How long does it take before you start seeing somebody call you or they reach out to you and say, yeah, I got your mailer. I want to work with you. And then obviously that's what you're gauging. You're saying, well, I spent $10,000. How many times do you get a phone call?
Well, okay. So this is what I'm getting to. So if you ran this whole campaign for 6 months and you only made 50% of your money, let's just say, okay, then you're going to take a look at it because you're running a business now. I'm spending $10,000 to make $10,000. It took me 6 months. So if it takes you 6 months, but I can allocate that $10,000 somewhere else and I can make the double amount of money in the least amount of time, now we're going to deploy that money in that marketing sector. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at here.
I got you.
So mailers do work, but again, it depends on the price point that you're targeting. I mean, if you're doing, 400 and below, your returns are going to be a lot less, but you're probably doing volume, right? Or do you want to go for the gusto $1 million deals? So, I mean, there's a lot of compensating factors. It's like running a true business. It's how much money am I putting out? How fast is that money coming in? Is it worth it for me to allocate this money? Now, let me give you an example. With this business, you always have to pivot and adapt. And I've always been good at that. I've been very blessed, and I was always able to see what's going on with the market and do that. And if I can give you one piece of advice, that would probably be the piece of advice.
Well, I think you have to be looking at real estate as like any business, though. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Real estate is a vehicle to make money, but you also have to be a blend of an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, you got to like marketing. You got to like to take risks. You got to like to, because when you get into real estate and you start at real estate, you have no money, right? What is your quickest path to make money? And I think that's starting on a team probably.
Yeah.
That already is generating leads.
That's true too.
And that way you can at least sustain something and build something where, yeah, you might have that 10,000 you talked about or that 20,000 to market. And guess what? You're still on the team. You're still making that money. You're still getting those leads, but now you're putting a little something over here with your own stuff.
No, you're absolutely right. And I have agents like that, one of my good agents, Joey, right? My right-hand guy. And Joey, he's very good at what he does. And he closes a lot of deals with me.
He's a charming dude, man.
No, he is. And, he has his own thing going on too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like for my agents, like if they do my deals, then I get a piece of the commission. If they do their own deals, right, it's 100% for them. I never want to take that away from them. Or some of these teams, what they'll do is they'll take the credit for that deal. I don't do that. Like for the contracts, like,
look, I'm going to say this, man, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, okay? Yeah. So please don't take it.
Well, don't mention any names out there because we don't want to tear anybody apart.
No. But I'm in the industry, and you can be humbled really quick, especially as a lender, because that's what I do. I do financing, and you're always working for somebody. No matter how much money you make, you're working for somebody, and you're going to answer to somebody. Now, one of the things you have to look at is, we talked about it before, that real estate agents sometimes become egocentric, right? And what I mean by that is they it's not that they're bad people. It's just they're in a game where it's like, hey, I'm talking about production and numbers, and it builds my status.
Yeah.
And if I want to move offices, then maybe the next office is going to look at me different. They're going to offer me marketing dollars. So there's a lot of things that come into play. For you, it's different because I think you already got your status there. You know?
Well, for me, it's not really status. Again, I want these agents to have their own, credibility, their own entity, right? And the reason why I want that is because I want them to work with me, not for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we are in the business together, and let's build each other up versus building myself up. And at the end of the day, I don't care about if I'm on the top or, if I'm on the top one for the company. What I care about is getting paid, because it's about the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about the money, man.
When you're running the business. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm just telling you as a business owner, right?
Well, look, dude, let me say this, okay? If I'm running a business, it could be real estate, it could be anything. There is some self-accomplishment. And I think what people are doing is there's nobody there to pat them on the back.
Yeah.
So they're patting themselves on the back almost, right? Like, look at me, look what I did. So when I say that, it's almost like I want to try to get some type of recognition. I want some type of light shined on me. But also in turn to that, there is some accomplishment to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's a fine line. Like, you don't want to overdo it, but you do, agents do want to be out there, trying to promote their business. And I think a lot of it's like, look what I just sold, or look what's just sold,
It's like, who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, it's good for branding, but I don't, if let me put it this way.
Well, there's a difference between branding and also like
being bougie.
Yeah, being bougie. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say that.
But I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys have not had a chance, go to my Instagram account. I'm trying to grow the Instagram account. I know that I do post some pictures on there, bougie as hell. That's all right. Go ahead and go there. And it's all for marketing. But for a lot of you guys that have been with me from the beginning, from my career, especially from YouTube, you can see how humble I am. I'm always going to tell you how it is.
100%.
But, there's a part of it where you have to do the marketing, but there's a way to do it where you're not bougie or like, like a douchebag move. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like, let me say this. If I didn't know you, I would feel like I know you. Why? Because I feel like I'm on your level. Mm-hmm. I know you make a good living. You do well. But you don't take it to a point where it's like, hey, we only hang out with this type of
or I'm better
crowd.
than you. Yeah.
And I'm not saying agents do that, but I think there could be an aura to that. Mm-hmm. What I think that agents need to look at, for me anyways, is that sometimes, when you have marketing going out and things going out, if I was somebody out there as a consumer looking at some of this stuff on social media, and trying to pick an agent, I'm not going to pick them because it says just sold. Now that might be a marketing tactic that works, but that's not going to be something I'm going to say. Well, you know what I'm going to look at? How many homes have you sold? Mm-hmm. I'm going to see, do you have my best interest? Not, hey, it just sold. And it's great for marketing, branding, right? It's a branding tool. Yeah. It is, but that's not how I'm going to choose my real estate agent.
Oh, is there a lag? Hey guys, let me know if there is like a lag on the audio here. Let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate that.
Also, if you guys have any questions, Chuck put that number up there.
Yeah, that's right.
Put that number up. You guys call in if you want to call in and ask some questions, financing or real estate.
I feel like there's a lag on your angle. Look at this. Is there a lag?
I don't know.
Hey Jessica, can you see if there's a lag on Dan's audio? Why don't you start talking, Dan?
Hello. Hi.
Everybody says it looks good, but it seems like there's a lag. I don't know if I'm tripping or not.
Yeah, I think it's I don't think there's a lag, man. I think it's you know what? You're doing this so much that you're defining everything like everything's got to be detailed. You're overdoing it. I think what it is you probably wouldn't even recognize this in the beginning.
Okay, well Jessica says it seems like there's a lag. It don't feel like a lag. Okay, now one more test. Does it look like there's a lag on my end? Because look at this. Now it looks like there's not a lag.
Yeah, but that might be different from what you're seeing versus what they're seeing.
No, that's true.
Because their internet might be connected, and because our internet's in this office. Yeah. So I'm not sure.
Well, let me know if there's a lag on my end. I just want to make sure everything looks good here. Looks good from here. It's in sync. Cool. You know what? Let's Where were we at? Where did I leave off before I got distracted?
Sorry, you were talking about marketing dollars, and you're talking about what it takes to market, and kind of going through that process with mailers. Now,
I don't know if this is correct or not. Statistics says the first 3 years, right? 3 out of I think the first 3 years is going to be like the hardest to run a business. Then after that, it's the next 10 years or something like that.
I think you have to also identify yourself too.
Yeah.
In the first 3 years. Let me explain. So, and I'm glad Jessica got on here.
Yeah.
Jessica is the most detailed person, or one of the most detailed person that I've worked with. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's who you are.
Explain who Jessica is right now for the audience.
Well, Jessica's your assistant.
Okay.
Right. And she runs all your files, but you have to know your personality, and you have to know where your strong points are at. And I think that's where you're good at, where you say you run a team.
Yeah.
So she's by far,
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. And you make a good point, because at the end of the day, I cannot do her job.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Maybe I couldn't do her job.
Yeah. And she couldn't do my job. And that's where I was going to get to. It's like, okay, so once, you're an agent, you're on a team, you start making some money, right? Mm-hmm. You start allocating some money in towards some sort of marketing. You're starting to grow. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to come to the point where you're making abundance of money, but now it comes down to time. Because here's the thing, you can only make so much because you only have so much time in a day. So now the question is, how do you transfer to the next level? What I did, and I want to share this with you, then you probably want to hire an assistant.
100%.
Because now, once you have an assistant, they can handle all the paperwork. That frees up more time, right? And it allows you to go out and get more business. That was one of the first things I had to do, and it was hardest thing I had to do. I remember my first assistant, when I first hired, I literally had to train her. I paid her really well, and I actually bought her a car.
Well, I think she's like your assistant. She's worth her weight in gold. I think what it does is it frees up your time.
Yeah.
And that's what you have. You can't get that time back. So does she do it better than you? Probably 100%, right?
Yeah.
But not only does she do that better, now you have an efficiency of running that business, but then you turn around and it's like, well, now what are you good at? Oh, Chuck's good at marketing, knowing all about the houses, out showing properties, talking with people, corresponding. Yes. It takes a team effort to do what you do. When you're your own agent starting out, you're going to be struggling with that.
Yes.
You're probably going to be tapped out on how much time you have.
And now also I want to go back to when you become an agent, right? One of the things that you're also going to do is you're going to have to find a good title company. You're going to have to find a good lender. The lender, believe it or not, is one of the most important things to have, okay? The lender that you work with is going to be the person that's going to help screen the buyer to make sure that they are fully approved. And if the lender says that they're approved, it's solid. And also, the lender is always going to disclose what those conditions are. The reason why you want to know this is because at the end of the day, it's about building that dream team. You see what I'm saying? Because you're working together as a partner. And this is a relationship, a business relationship, right? Just like me and you. Sometimes, I don't like the way you're running the business.
It's true.
At the end of the day, you may say something that I don't like, but I got to evaluate the situation and we got to make adjustments. Because this market changes on a consistent basis. If you're not up to date with all these programs and you don't have the programs that other lenders that they have, then you're out of the game. I got to go find somebody else.
Yep.
100%. And that's why it's so important that you got to work with a lender. Number one, they got to know what they're doing, and they got to be caught up as far as, what's going on in the marketplace.
Yeah.
You got to find somebody that's seasoned. And it's also hard to find a lender that is willing to help you make cold calls. There's a lot of lenders out there where you give them the business and they realize, you know what? I can get this person approved, but this person is a work in progress. It's going to be 6 months out. And next thing you know it, they're like, hey, just do this and call me back in 6 months. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think real estate encompasses a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just, and look, we're not trying to make it where you can't become a realtor. It's just there's stages and steps that you have to go through and considerations. If you think that it's going to be, you're going to get into it in the year and you're going to start making money, you might make money because, like you said, you already have some people lined up, family or something. But to sustain this year after year, month after month, that is a hard task.
No, it is, because you go up and down on waves. Okay, some months you can make a lot of money, some months you're not making anything, And you don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a position where you're generating so much business, right? That money's just flowing in, but you have to keep it consistent. But what I love about real estate is how hard you work reflects how much you're going to get paid.
Yeah, and I think that too, when we talk about money, it's not all money.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you're starting this business, everybody will make money.
Yeah.
What is your goals, right?
Yeah.
And what do you want to accomplish? And what is it that as somebody that's in doing real estate or any business, what is your self accomplishments? Because money's great. If you do well, like you talk about it, if you do well by the client where you're saying, hey, I'm going to help them, I'm going to answer their questions, it's all about them.
Yeah.
The money will come in regardless. It's really about what are you trying to accomplish yourself and what are your goals? Because every year we always make a new goal sheet. We make a new...
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Because every time I hire a new agent, the first thing I'll do is, how much money are you trying to make this year?
Right.
Right. This is where I go break it down. Right. Like from the beginning of the show. Okay. If you're trying to make this much money, here's the median price point of the home. This is how many deals you're going to have to close in order for me to get you where you need to be.
Right.
Okay.
And you can lay that out pretty well.
Yeah. And not only that, when we get the process going, I could tell you how many calls you need to make. Right. And what your conversion rates are in order for you to get there.
Yeah.
And if your conversion rate is not high, that tells me that, number one, as far as you educating the client, phone skills is not there. So that helps me to say,
can you learn phone skills?
Yes, you can learn phone skills.
And if somebody's in there and they're scared, obviously you didn't have any phone skills.
No. You just got to get beat up, man. That's it.
Well, I mean, I worked at a collection company for credit cards when I was in college.
Oh my God, that must have sucked.
It sucked. But what it did is it groomed me for future of what I was going to do. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, somehow it just kind of takes its course, You branch off of something that you did before that you use and utilize. When I was in college, I took a fast typing class. Yeah. Right? I use it all the time. I mean, it's just you don't know what you're going to use it for. But
all I remember is when I used to make cold calls, dude, I used to get beat up. And by the time at the end of the day, dude, I was like literally like done. Like I didn't want to talk to nobody. And it's like, that's like one of the most hardest things ever where people just pound you like a punching bag constantly.
You show up to work and you're all fresh and clean. You leave and it's like,
black and blue. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough.
No, it is, man. It's not an easy business, but can it be done? Yes, it can be done.
And one thing about working in an environment like collections, is it does build your character, because I think it, like you talked about, or I talked about too, is humbled yourself. Like it humbles you.
Yeah.
Also too, it kind of gives you different angles and different thoughts about what people are going through and how you can show objection to it, or how you can maybe meet halfway if it sounds weird.
Yeah.
Where you have people that trust you. I mean, people can smell right away if you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And also, if you just don't, if you're leading them to a path of, car salesman or salesman-y, you're not really in it for their best interest.
People sniff that stuff
out. Oh,
up,
man, real quick.
Yeah.
So that's why it's another hard thing for becoming a realtor, because you may start off that way and you don't know you're that way, but you have to have somebody evaluate that,
Yeah.
So
now I want to go back to, like once you got your assistant, I remember the next level from there was to generate as much as leads as possible, because that's what this business is really about. At the end of the day, it's generating business to come on in. Now, I remember I was like grinding, working. But again, you can only make so much money because time. There's only 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
So the hard part for me was to cut my commissions again in half, hire an agent, because I knew that he was going to get half of that commission.
Scaling down.
Yeah, I'm scaling down to scale up.
That's right. One step back.
Then from there, we were able to get more business, make more money. Then we had to get another person and another person. Now, one thing that you'll know about me is I take a very long time to hire somebody. But Dan, I'm quick to what?
Fire somebody.
That's right. If I don't like you, out of here.
I think you told me the other day somebody gave you like the wrong vibe.
Yeah, because you don't want cancer to be a part of the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you want to have that cool atmosphere.
Synergy.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
And now I'm to the point of the career where I was thinking about, and let me know in the comments below, okay? Because I get this question asked all the time, if I'm actually hiring. And I may do this coming year. I'm not too sure. I was thinking on taking on 10 interns, 10 real estate agents, where they can actually be coachable. And I want to see if I could take them to that next level.
Well, I think you could take them to the next level. I just
don't know if I have time, but I was just thinking about it. I'm not too sure yet.
Let's talk about this, and I don't know if you want to bring it up. All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully this doesn't like open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. You were talking about you were talking about setting up some type of real estate school.
Yeah.
And you were talking about possibly putting something together where people can join, sign up. And you're not going to take their hand step by step, but give them tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And show them how you became successful. And obviously it's up to them on an individual basis to make it happen. But is that still going on?
I don't know what I want to do just yet. And the reason why is because I'm busy. I'm getting pulled in so many different angles with so many different projects. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's a constant go. But I just feel like now I'm to the point where I'm able to delegate and hire people to help me out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I'm at now. But I was really thinking about creating that course. Now, I do have a course that we've been working on. It just haven't had a chance to release it yet because I need to fine tune everything. And it's actually a course on how to make money from YouTube by doing videos. Now, I haven't released that yet, but it's coming soon. And I know I talked about this a long time.
I already bought some stock.
Oh, so. You did. All right, so let's go back. Let's answer some questions here, dude.
I don't know if there's many questions yet.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Okay.
I know there's some questions where people are saying, there's one that said, I think, if you have a felony, can you get a real estate license?
Well, from the time that I went to get my real estate license, I know that if you had a felony, you could not get licensed. You couldn't get licensed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has changed or not. So it's going to be case-by-case basis.
Same with lending. There's been people that I've been around that, they've gotten in trouble for related to money, so they wouldn't be able to get licensed. Meaning, they've done something. It's funny. You could still be hired as like an assistant or a loan assistant or a business development coordinator, but if you've been in trouble, especially mostly for money or money-related incident, you ain't gonna get a license, man.
Well, even I had a friend. She had like some credit issues, and she was gonna become a lender, and she couldn't even become a lender because she had bad credit.
Really?
Yeah, the company wouldn't hire her, dude.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How bad was her credit? Was it terrible?
I don't know.
That's crazy, man. It had to be something on there, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, because I guess you have to do it finance, right?
Well, I think it's just. Look, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases you're dealing with more than that. Sometimes millions of dollars, especially loans. But I guess it's getting more. There's more scrutiny out there for people to be more organized and responsible.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a tough one, though. What happens if something happened that you had no control over? How would I guess it has to be a case by case. There must have been something on there that was just completely just like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what the story is, but looks like Mark says, where was I?
Mark.
Oh, right there. He goes, you both are speaking facts.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
What is this? I am a PA. They said it's all...
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. What it says, I'm in Pennsylvania. They said it's all dependent on broker. Not too sure.
It all depends on the broker. What they're saying is if you want to get a license, it's the question before. So the question before is, can I get a license with my felony on my record? And he's saying you got to check your local state laws. And then he said, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay, and it says I'm currently wholesaling right now, still no deals, but thinking about getting a license. Now that's what I did. Before I became a licensed real estate agent, I flew out to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I wanted to specialize in subject twos to existing financing. So if you guys don't know what that is, I'll kind of go over it real quickly. So basically, you find owners of a home that can no longer make payments. You take over their payment, but the loan has to say it is okay to take over the loan. And what I mean by take over the loan is the buyer or the owner of the home is still on the hook for the loan, but you take over the loan and you rent out the property. Okay? And I remember when I came back, I started looking into it, and I realized that you had to put money into these type of deals. It's like running a real estate investment company.
Right.
And I realized, you know what? Why don't I just become a real estate agent? Right? And find deals for investors. And that's how I actually started finding deals for investors. So because I wanted to become an investor myself, you know, I was able to learn like the lingo and the terms and find deals for the investors, right? And get them paid. But the good news is that I would only make a little bit of money because these are when like $60,000 homes. Like I was doing deals at $60,000.
But again, you're paying for education.
Well,
right?
that's exactly.
Right.
And then I was learning the lingo and the terms.
Right.
I was watching how they were flipping these properties.
Right.
Right. I made a lot of people money, but I was making a little bit here, there. And at that point, I was building my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Then now it's like when an investor calls, I can tell them if they fake as hell. Like, oh, you're not a real investor. You're just a speculator.
Yeah, that's another thing,
You know what
too,
I mean?
is you've done it so long.
Yeah.
You're not an expert, but you know enough to be
Yeah.
dangerous. That's
Now-
always what it is.
Now here's the thing. If people call me and say, hey, can you find me an investment property? I don't do investment properties. I typically just help buyers and sellers sell their home.
Right.
And the reason why I don't do investment properties is because that's a whole different sector. And to really find those type of deals, you have to market off property, right? And you have to find those type of deals. And when you find them, and if you can find a deal that's where you're making $50,000, even $80,000, let's just say, you got to understand, I already put the time, the money, and effort into it to get you the deal. And if I'm only making $4,000 or $8,000, when I can already flip the property myself, I'm not that right candidate for you.
Well, too, plus remember what Colt said was he said, sometimes when you look for houses,
Yeah.
you're looking for a client.
Yeah.
But if you find a good enough deal, you're not going to pass that to your client. You're going to buy it and scoop it up yourself.
Well, I mean, it's got to be a steal, but what I'm saying is that those type of deals typically are not on the MLS.
Right.
Those type of deals are off market, and you have to understand, like, to find those off market, you got to spend thousands of dollars. And what I mean by that is you're gonna have to do like the marketing, mailers. Like I had somebody call me from Hawaii. Hey man, I want to get into wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are you sure you want to get into wholesaling? Because you need to spend the money.
Yeah.
Right? You got to farm out, get the addresses. You constantly got to send letters like every 2 weeks. Hey, you want to sell your home? You want to sell your home? You want to sell your home? Then once somebody calls you, you got to set up the appointment. You got to see if it is worth it. Like I got a buddy of mine. He's spending a shitload of money, dude, on marketing. And this is what this is what he specializes in, right? Flipping properties. But he's also making a lot of money.
So you got to risk
Yes.
to obviously to get the reward.
So it is hard to get started when you don't really have any money.
And that's what we got to kind of.
And the problem is that when people say like, oh, you don't need money to wholesale, that's bullshit. You may not need physical money, but what is your time worth? If your time is $175 an hour, dude, you're spending your time, right?
Yep.
Sweat equity to find those deals.
100%.
That's what people are not aware of.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Now, when I went onto the website,
Yeah.
lvhomeexperts.com as a plug.
Douchey plug. lvhomeexperts.com.
No, but I have a legitimate question about this.
Go to lvhomeexperts.com.
I have a legitimate question. The question is, I always get people that call or text
Yeah.
and say, are those your listings?
No.
Where are those properties coming from so everybody can be educated? out
Okay,
there?
that's a good question. So this is how it works, and I want to clarify this, okay? Now, what happens is once you're a licensed real estate agent and a member of the National Association of Realtors, at the local level, what happens is all agents are required, once they get a brand new listing, to input it into the system, right? The MLS, which is the Multiple Listing Service.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, it gets syndicated to Realtor.com. So when people go to Realtor.com, that's where they have all the cities throughout the nation goes into that one portal. From there, it gets syndicated, Redfin, Trulia, Zillow, right? Reason why this is important, because if you're looking
to a local level?
Say again?
Is it syndicated to a local level?
So it goes from a local level to a national level. From the national level, then it gets spit out to all the other websites that are out there.
Got it.
So some of the stuff that you look on like Zillow and Truly or whatever's, some of that stuff may not be accurate because by the time it goes on the MLS at the local level, average days on the market right now is 13 days. By the time it gets syndicated,
that's crazy.
They already have multiple offers on that deal or it's already in pending status. So the way that our site was built is to automatically extract that information directly through the local level, the MLS.
So all of those properties are not necessarily like you have listings and you have stuff that you're working buyers and stuff, but those are not all your listings. And
no, those are listings throughout the Las Vegas Valley that are currently available right now.
So if they call you from the website or they get information and inquire about it, they're going to say, Chuck, you have a property on there, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Main Street.
Main Street. Can we look at that property?
Yes.
You might not have a listing for that, so you'll be the guy representing them on the buyer side.
Yes, and that's how all agents work here. And that's the reason why we have that tool, the MLS, and that's the reason why agents become a member of the National Association of Realtors, to have that access to that tool, so that way they can go to that website, right, and see, right, on the back end of what's going on for every single property. Because you can be a licensed real estate agent and get paid, but if you don't have a website or you're not a member of the National Association of Realtors, you're not going to have access to all the properties.
So if you're a real estate agent out there that's getting started, this is another tool in your tool belt, right? You can go out and you can look and see, do I want to build a website? Have that extracted into that website. Now, how would you generate if you have nobody out there, right? Nobody's doesn't know anything about you.
So now you have a website.
Okay.
The question is, how do you drive people to your website?
Yep.
And this is a whole nother ballgame. This is PPC, right? Pay per ad clicks through Google. So if you guys don't know what that is, every time you go to your Google search, you type up homes for sale, there's a ad that pops up or a link that's on top of the page, right? That's what those are. Those are paid click ads, right? So
Google AdWords.
Yeah, Google AdWords. So this is where I talked about you always got to understand your market and you got to pivot. There was one year I spent about $34,000 on it, but I made 10 times my money back, right? Off of it. But that was something that I had mastered. However, I no longer do that because, again, you have to take a look at your expenses. When it starts getting expensive, you don't get a higher rate of return. There are other investments that will get you a higher rate of return. So, 1 year, I remember I specialized in short sales. So we did about 100-something short sales at one point. One point, I was doing REOs. One point, I was doing out-of-state sellers. And that's all I would focus on was out-of-state sellers. And we did a lot of those type of deals. So, you always got to pivot and you always got to adapt.
One of the things, too, is... So when we talk about websites, you got some of these big entities out there like Zillow, Truly, like you said, Redfin. For me, you always go on there and you look and you see what type of real estate agents are on there. Do they have affiliations with these lenders? And I want to clarify something. We talked about this before. What I want to say is that a lot of these lenders, including real estate agents, are paying a premium to be on these websites. Where you're not, it's obviously your own website, but there is options out there where if your website is not performing and you're not good at Google AdWords, realize this, and I think a lot of people know, when you put that information in, you're going to get bombarded with calls. Why? Because all of that information is sold. How is it sold? It's sold because real estate agents and lenders are cohesively working together to try to generate leads from that. And you might even have the lender call you. That's why you have 2 or 3 or 4 lenders, especially like on Zillow, because they're all paying marketing dollars to be on there with that real estate agent.
So this is how it works. So like Zillow, I got to admit, I like Zillow because of the interface of Zillow and for the consumer to go through it.
Values are never accurate, though.
Well, I mean,
mostly.
Yeah, to a certain extent. But what I'm trying to get at is that the way that they build these websites now, for the average user that doesn't understand and how to navigate through a page, they made it very simple for the consumer. And that's why a lot of people will end up, right, going to Zillow. And also because what Zillow does, they market on pay per ad clicks. So they're always on the top of the page. So when somebody clicks on it, they realize, like, you know what, this is a pretty good page. It shows all the homes. But you got to remember, Zillow is extracting, and also Trulia is extracting all the information from Realtor.com. So not all the properties are going to be accurate as far as the information, okay? Now what happens is on the right-hand side, like you mentioned, right, once you scroll down, did I say squirrel?
I don't know.
Scroll down.
I didn't get it. I didn't. Sounded right to me.
I said it so fast. Scroll down. Okay. So now on the right-hand side, you're going to see there's like 4 agents with a bunch of stars, and they put these little nice words like pro agent or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now you're under the assumption that this property I like, it looks like it's available because you don't know, right? And you're like, this is a great price. Next thing you know, you click on it and you're like, oh, I want more information on here.
Yep.
You see the agents on the right-hand side. Now you call that agent because you want information. Here's the thing. 9 times out of 10, that's probably not even their listing, right? But you got to understand, this is what Zillow does. They're very good.
Mm-hmm.
They will reach on out to agents across the country and explain to them, like, look, you know that we are the #1 website.
Yes.
Everybody jumps on here.
Yes.
And we all know that. I mean, I go on their website and I look around, right?
Of course.
So now they'll pitch them
It's
and say,
attractive.
yeah, they'll say, hey, you know what? This is what we're going to do. If you want to specialize in this zip code, 89123, we got 10 spots. You can buy as many spots as you want. They're $1,000 a piece. And based upon the algorithm that we're looking at, you're going to get 200 leads a month.
Mm-hmm.
So one guy may say, you know what? I'll buy 3,000. All right, we're going to give you 300 leads. Okay?
So they give you leads now in the past, and I'm just
So
let's
well,
clarify.
let me go back. So let me finish. So this
I'm
is
getting
how it
lost
works.
with this one for a second. Just I get it, but I just want to get
Okay,
clarified.
go ahead.
on it. So are they paying for leads, or are they paying for the zip code?
The way it's pitched, you're going to get this zip code. And what I mean by this zip code is when somebody clicks in 89123 and they want to look at properties in 89123, you're going to get these leads for this zip code.
Got it.
So that's how they're pitching it. They're breaking it down, right?
Wow.
Through zip codes. So they're going to say, hey, you know what, Dan, you want to buy $3,000 worth of leads? We're giving you 300 leads because that's the algorithm. That's what we see. And you're like, shit, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to sign a contract 1 year. So now you're committed, $36,000, right? Now you get all these leads.
$36,000?
Well, let's say if you bought $3,000 worth of leads a month.
See, but
you may have to sign a contract.
Here's
they get
the
you
thing,
at
though.
6 months or a year contract.
That's an average agent, like we're talking about on this topic, will not have the ability, mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're going to go take out a loan and go start in debt.
But I mean, they could do 500. They could do. It just depends.
Well, some of the big teams though, what do they do? Like 10,000 a month?
Bro, that ain't nothing. Okay. I got guys that are spending $60,000 a month on marketing.
That's just insane.
Yeah, but I got buddies right now making like $350 a month. So again, that's where it comes down to running your business, and this is how you scale up when you don't have any money. Do you see what I'm saying?
This is more of like I'm in the game for a few years, probably. Like
basically what you're doing is you're playing Russian roulette. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, you got to make it happen, dude. Yeah, and that's why, as a good business guy, if I'm putting $3,000 in a month, but I'm making $9,000 back, then it's worth the reward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're playing Russian roulette because there's no guarantee that that's going to happen.
It's not.
Also, they sell parts of those zip codes to other agents, right? So it's like divvied up between a bunch of realtors.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's say they already did the algorithm. They already know they generate about 1,000 leads a month.
Right.
Just for that zip code. So they're going to say, you know what? We're going to start calling agents. We're going to give out to 10 agents, right? $1,000 per month, and you get 100 leads. You may have one agent buy all 10 spots, or they may buy 4, whatever they want to buy. That's up to them. Next thing you know, they take that money, dump it back into the PPC, right? Pay per ad clicks, to get their website to force the back up on the top.
Yeah.
So now you're the guy that's looking at it. You click on that link, and you're like, I'm going to call this agent because I want more information. So what happens is you call the agent. That agent answers the phone. Now he's trying to convert you. Okay. Now, as he's trying to convert you, another agent that was actually buying on that zip code may also contact you. That's sometimes what happens is you get bombarded with a bunch of calls.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I've been there. I mean, it's happened. I'm like, how did it happen? And then now it's kind of unfolding why it's happening.
Yeah. So now let me tell you. So same thing with our website. We generate about almost 600 leads a month. Well, 600 to 800, I think.
Right.
At this point, once you put in your information, are you going to get a call from us? Yes, you are going to get a call from us.
But not from
a bunch of people. You just
15 other people and agents and lenders and everybody.
You would just get a call directly from one of our agents that are on the team, and that's pretty much it.
One of the things I want to say.
Yeah.
Big in mortgage companies.
Hey, let's get a cheap plug.
Cheap plug?
Cheap plug.
LVHomeExperts.com. Call now.
That was corny. We got to hit that one more time. Let's go.
LV Home Experts, call in now.
Chakits.k. That was so corny.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. So anyways, let's go back though. I wanted to say something. The TSA, and everybody's like, man, everybody's following you. Everybody's tracking what you're doing. And one of the things I've kind of taken notice is a lot of these big mortgage companies that are out there marketing, their online companies, once you get that information and they're actually following you to different websites.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say names, but I've been on it where they're actually emailing me, and they're all of a sudden I'm jumping on, Yahoo or somewhere like that, like a search engine. And all of a sudden I see off to the right, like, oh, this company's trying to get my business still. Like, it's weird because you're almost like you're being followed now with artificial intelligence and all these things going on. You're literally, even if you don't put your information in, they're tracking your IP number from your computer.
Yeah, it's actually a direct marketing with paper ad clicks. So I used to do it all the time. So when you used to go to lvhomeexperts.com, from there, once you register or even go onto that site, then you'll realize the next 10 days, if you're on like Facebook, anything online, you'll notice like our ads are always on the side.
And we talked about, I want to bring this up because, so I get a call.
Yeah.
And this lady's like, do you have somebody named so-and-so, right? And I didn't want to say the name, but I was like, no. I go, why are you asking this question, ma'am? She goes, well, I got a call because, I know you just pulled my credit and we did an application.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're calling me to pull credit again. And I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, what is this, right? So I'm like, well, who's this company? What are their name? Oh, it's ABC Mortgage, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's kind of weird. So I actually did some research. And every time you pull credit from a mortgage company, somebody out there is trying to buy your information.
Damn, that's crazy.
Right? And it's a lot of these credit agencies, they sell they package it up, sell it, because it's all competition. They're making money. So there's probably a lot of people out there that are putting their information in with a lender, pulling their credit. All of a sudden they're getting random calls and random messages.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how's that happening? Because your information's always being sold.
Yeah.
Like when you go with me, what I try to do is I limit that, eliminate it, because I remove all the contact information before I pull credit on somebody. But what's crazy is a lot of lenders don't know that. And it's just, man, I feel bad for the consumer because they're just constantly getting bombarded with, different mortgage lenders and different realtors. It's just like, when does it stop? I don't know.
It never stops.
It never stops. It's like the TSA, man. They're following you. I'm cautious of like going on to like, some of these Facebook, ads and all these ads you see, because they're trying to search and see what you're looking for.
It's all data tracking.
Yeah, it's data tracking, because just like what Amazon did with that iCloud, they got all this information, sold it to the FBI or something. They sold it to the FBI, but it's just extracting data and then taking it, making a profit off of it and selling it to somebody else that could potentially use that data.
The artificial intelligence now is just crazy. It's just like when I got this new phone, right? This is like the best phone I ever have, right? And I got this new iPhone watch thing. And one of the apps, basically what you can do and apply for is where it attracts heart rate, it tracks everything about your body, and it sends that information on over to your insurance company, right?
Wow.
As far as like medical wise, right?
So they can tell you like, based upon this information, your policy is going to be this.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to opt out on this app. Hell no, I'm not going to let them know.
Man, it's crazy.
And all they're doing is they're taking your information, probably selling it right to your insurance carrier.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, bro, you had high blood pressure for the past 20 years. We're not going to cover you.
Listen, I'm going to tell you another story too, which is crazy. So Brett, big on Bitcoin. I'm not big on Bitcoin.
Dude, Bitcoin is, I was looking at it today. I'm like, damn, that shit's at 20,000.
I know, but check this out. So he sent me something and, dude, he's very knowledgeable in this. But so anyways, I go on there to try to register for this Bitcoin app.
Uh-huh.
And man, I swear they were like taking everything, including blood type. It was just like they wanted to know. I had to like take pictures of of my face to open up this account. I had to send some stuff in. I had to send a bill in that had the address on it.
Did you have to send in like a stool sample?
and then it's like, okay, we'll get back to you. It's just like, I'm sitting there thinking, well, they're putting all this information there. Are they going to collect this and then use it for something else?
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, now we have this, your fingerprints, all this stuff. It's like, man, when does this thing stop? It's like, it was like a 10-step rule. Like, and then I still didn't even get in the app. It was like, okay, it's on hold, on standby. We'll let you know when it's all approved. It's like, what the hell, dude? Just to buy some Bitcoin.
Damn, that's crazy. What are the comments we got here? Let's answer some of these comments.
I don't know. Let me see here.
Let me go back up to the top. I think we ended right about there. What do we got here?
Okay. What's the current state of the market in Las Vegas right now?
Dude, the market is just hyped up crazy right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. I think it's great.
You should.
Okay, that's my verbiage. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But I also think what's going to happen if we start getting foreclosures? What's going to happen if people are not, like they're behind on their mortgage and then these companies are not going to help them out?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. And I know it's a small percentage, but could that lead to other things? Also, are people going to be unemployed for a period of time? I know it's decreased here, but I would, for me, I think it's a great time to buy. And if you're in the market to buy, buy. But it's hot. It's a hot market. What did you say, 13 days?
13 days. I'm in Atlanta. Best place to buy. Man, my nose is clogged.
I'm going to say it.
Both nostrils is clogged.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Let's talk about this one. Yeah. What's the most important thing you should look at for when purchasing a property, Chuck?
The most important thing that I look at is the bones of the home.
Yeah.
What you get for your money. What I look at is the materials that are used to the home. I think that what I focus on is installation, grade.
Can I ask you something, though?
Yeah.
As an average person out there buying a home, how do you check installation?
Look at it.
You got to bust into the wall to look at it.
No, you can actually go up into the attic too as well. And more of these newer homes, the seller should have all that information, especially with the upgrades.
But if it says, okay, it's this type of installation, I know. Then you just take their word for it. You don't have like an inspector go and check it.
Well, here's the thing. The inspector's going to go up in the attic too as well. While he's up there, you can just ask him, what type of installation is this? He'll be able to tell.
Okay.
I look at the air conditioning units. I look at the lighting, right? I look at if they got Cat 6, if they got cable outlets in the walls, right? Because a lot of homes don't have that. The other thing I look at is, does the home come with a Smurf tube to the D-mark? There's just certain things I just look at. Because technology changes on a consistent basis, and these are just standard things I look at. I look at the air conditioning unit, okay? Depending on how old the home is too as well.
How about this question?
Yeah.
What's the best place to live in Las Vegas right now?
Right now, call. No, not call. Visit lvhomeexperts.com.
You got to shake our head next time.
Oh, yeah,
that's
right.
the beat right there. I think it's about location. Let me say this.
I'm going to tell you, Henderson is great. Las Vegas is great, but it depends where. Look,
where you buy, right?
Yeah, it just depends on your style. Like, people think I live in Summerlin. I don't live in Summerlin. I live in a small community, not even a mass plan community. I live off of Las Vegas Boulevard. Reason why is because it's my lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? It's all about lifestyle, man.
It's all about lifestyle. It's also about position in life.
Yeah.
If you're starting out on a starter home, you want to buy in location, but you may have to forgive a little bit in some areas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's about what you're trying to accomplish. Also,
that's anywhere you buy.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean, look, if you got,
there's just not like one great area.
the only time I would say I'm
Maybe
gonna go,
what people are saying is, what's the most expensive area?
there's a lot, especially now, right? I think it's also too timing in life. Like if you're older,
Yeah.
you might want to go all out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about square footage or what's involved. It depends on where you're at in life.
What other questions we got here?
What's your thoughts on the Inspirada area compared to Summerlin? Recommend for what type of family?
Well, I like Inspirada. I feel like it's more of like a family community. I see like kids playing soccer, baseball. I mean, there's all kind of activities out there. And from what I'm gathering from other people that move out there, they tend to go out there because a lot of soccer moms love it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's like a new Summerlin.
We all know, okay, so Inspirada is nice. I actually live down the street from Inspirada.
Yeah. What's the matter? You couldn't afford to get into it?
No, exactly. It's a premium. No, Summerlin, what do you think about Summerlin? So look, the way I see Summerlin, and this is just me, I look at it as it's expensive to live there.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of premiums.
I think it's overrated.
But let me say this. If you had to take Summerlin and you looked at Summerlin,
Yeah.
you've been around some other states, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you looked at a lot of things online that what area or what does it remind you of? Is there anything that it reminds you of? Because it seems like it's isolated somewhat from the strip.
No way, man. That shit ain't isolated.
No, like the way that they present Summerlin is different than other areas. So to me, I feel like it's almost like, I don't know, it's like almost on the base of a mountain where it's almost like you're an outdoors style. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like being on the base of
that's
Red
definitely,
Rock.
You know what? That is definitely one of the perks. So number one, I can tell you this. If you are more of an outdoor type of person,
It's just different.
yeah. So if you're into like cycling, I see a lot of cycles out there, right? People that like to cycle.
Right.
If you're into like jogging, right? If you're into hiking, right? If you're more into like the mother nature stuff,
Yes.
then yes, that makes sense. Now you're not going to get that in Inspirada. They do have like trails and stuff like that.
Or in Henderson.
Yeah. But they don't have like a national park like that.
No, and also they got like wild animals out there.
Which
know
is
what I mean?
not, I ain't too keen on that. But
I mean that's like you're in a different element. Like it's almost like if you got, like you said, you got to be into mountain biking, hiking. You don't have to be, but I mean if it's at your doorstep,
yeah.
why would you not try to take advantage of that, right? I don't know.
The question
It's
is,
different.
are you going to even utilize things like that? I mean, once you move there, I mean, think about it. It's like when people, I want to buy a home with a pool.
It's not, yeah, but
They don't always use it.
it goes back to this.
Yeah.
What if you can have everything?
Oh, that's true.
Like what if you had the ability to, I mean, you got anything at your fingertips really in Summerlin for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to some other questions. Do you have to have a real estate license to flip properties?
No, but make sure to get with a attorney because you can be opening up a can of worms.
Yeah.
For legal purposes. So
For legal purposes?
Yep.
Let me see. You can write off advertising and marketing costs. Absolutely true.
Hell, you can write everything off.
I mean, it depends on how much money you spend. But again, when it comes back to what we started with, a lot of real estate agents don't have a lot of money to start with. So you're probably not going to take $5,000 and try to throw it all in marketing and wish for the best.
Yeah,
you're going to
you got to
slowly.
strategic. And here's the thing. The best way to do this is to start off, if you ain't got no money, I used to door knock. I literally walk door to door, miles, in a suit, knock on doors. Hey, would you be interested in selling your home, or do you know anybody? Right?
Did you give a complimentary, like a vacuum?
No. Sometimes people would slam the door in your face. Like, I did everything I could to generate leads. I did a lot of open houses.
Yeah.
Like, that's like one of the cheapest things that you can ever do. Spend money and buy the open house signs and just go sit at an open house. I remember there's one of these kids that first started here, and that's what he specialized in. Just all he did was open houses, and that's how he got business. Now, once you start making a little bit more money, you take that money and you apply it towards other things. And then you'll eventually get to the point where you don't do the open houses.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because now the leads are coming in.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, Like right now, things are good for me, but this all can change. And that's why I say you always got to pivot and adapt and profit.
And that's a good point.
So
saving for a rainy day?
Well, it's not only about saving for a rainy day. It's just, look, what you're doing or what I'm doing, may not work 5 years from now. So what I'm saying is that you always got to be on the move.
Got it.
Okay? When things are good, it's good. But you also have to, like you said, save for a rainy day because shit can hit the fan.
Yeah. And what do you do then, right?
Exactly.
It's like do you have... Maybe real estate has to pivot where it might not be the traditional way of real estate you think it is now.
You know what? You're right. When I talked about this, like things are going good right now for me and my team. 5 years from now, market, let's just say tanks. I may have to say, you know what? You guys got to go. It's just only me now.
Yeah.
Then I may have to go back and, hustle, door to door, open houses, whatever it takes. I mean, that's just a part of the business.
Yeah, it's adapting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See what else we got here. Can I practice as an agent if I have an out-of-state license? That's a good question.
Now, here's the thing. If you're going to get paid, you need to be licensed out here. So wherever you're licensed, right, that's where you can get paid.
Now, some lenders, though, encompass a way for, let's say you work for a bank.
Yeah.
You may not have to be licensed. They're licensed in all states. So it's weird because in some ways, if you're working for a bank, like a big bank, you can do loans outside of state. For me, because of the way I chose to do it,
yeah,
I have to be licensed in the state of Nevada or California or wherever.
Which makes sense.
Yep, it makes sense. Let me see here.
And cookies.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Chocolate chip.
Oh, look at this. This guy, Zach. Wasn't Zach on here the last time?
I'm not sure.
Look, how come the message got deleted here?
I don't know. How did you come up with that? The best place to live in is the city where the mayor and the district attorney won't let rioters run rampant and cut them loose after the police arrest them.
All right, next. Oh, look at this. Bonita. She's a big fan of this show. What did she say?
Bonita?
Yeah, you know her too.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's her question?
Have you heard of Inspiration by Aspect Homes? They are building homes in zip code 89115.
Ooh, that sounds like a small builder. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh.
What's the next question?
Well, let's answer Bonita. Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
I said no. We have to check it out.
Oh, sorry. Let me see here. Okay. This is by Liv Nicole. Question: I'm a home organizer moving to Vegas next year. How do I network with agents and home industry professionals to get clients?
That's a good question. So what I would do is go on Zillow or Trulia and call every single agent and let them know what you do.
Gotcha. I see where you're talking about Zach on the retracting.
Yeah.
Let me see. James Rod, Enterprise or SUMMERLIN?
Enterprise or SUMMERLIN?
And also Enterprise, he says, is where it's at. Where is that at actually?
Well, it's right down here on the southwest Las Vegas Valley side,
okay,
on the south side. So, I mean, things are growing fast. I know that I think it was online. It said it was like one of the fastest growing areas in the nation. All right, what's next?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Palm Springs. What's the next question?
I don't know. Let your guest finish something. A sentence. Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
No, I'm not going to let him finish.
He said, I got one for you. SUMMERLIN is like Kahala Diamond Head area of Oahu. That's your...
Yeah.
Is that true?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I would say so.
Is it?
Yeah, but Diamond Head is more expensive than SUMMERLIN. That's for sure. Somebody says laugh out loud.
Yeah, it's all fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, man? Do you think that people that are interested in buying a house right now, because it's December, it's usually the slower time of the year. If you're looking for an opportunity, is it a good time to buy right now?
Call now if you would like a mortgage tune-up.
No, is it though? Is December
a good time to buy?
No, it gives less. There's less competition.
Well, there is, because people are going into the holidays. They don't want to spend money. Like I mentioned before in the past, when I bought my first home, I bought it towards the end of December, which during that time period, it was a pretty tough market where a lot of people were bidding.
Yeah.
And I was able to get my deal done because we bought in a time where people are transitioning into Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year's. So I was able to get my offer accepted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I mean, is it a good time to buy? Yes, if the market is a hard market where you can't get an offer accepted. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to evaluate. But again, I mean, it's a big transition.
Oh, this person says that the Summerlin feels like Palm Springs. No, I would say Lake Las Vegas feels like Palm Springs.
No, I like Nico's analogy of that.
What?
I do.
For Summerlin?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
I feel like Summerlin's like, yeah, I guess so.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. It almost feels that way because I've been to.
I'm such a dummy. I go, Palm Springs feels like Las Vegas.
What?
Never mind.
Oh.
December is a great time to buy.
I got one here. More difficult to get approved for a secondary home versus primary residence. I'm an out-of-state first-time home buyer. 100% fact.
Yeah. Why is that?
Risk. Risk. It's a little bit harder.
What do they look at that point? I mean, it's the same thing, right? Debt to income ratio and all that?
They look at down payment, and I mean, it's...
When you say it's more risk, what is the risk? Like, the guidelines are more tough where you have to make more money, higher credit score. Is that what you're saying?
Well...
Lower debt to income ratio?
More money's not really the deciding factor. I think there's a lot of people that make a good living.
Yeah.
It's added layers of... It's called overlays, and also down payment has to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And you have to have what's called reserves, right? Where it's if you have extra money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder. You got to qualify, and you also have to qualify for that rent or mortgage if you have one. So it's definitely harder.
Well, we are into the show now for an hour, and what is this? Hour and like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got to finish up this show, guys.
Pleasure being here.
Let's get a couple plugs in, Dan.
You can find me on YouTube, Dan French, and just getting that channel started somewhat. Also, VegasLoanGuru.com. You can go there if you want to start the application process. Appreciate everybody out there tuning in with us very, very much.
And don't forget to visit lvhomeexperts.com. And thank you so much for tuning in. And our next show is going to be on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, if you guys have not had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and also give me a thumbs up. That definitely helps the algorithm. Other than that, until next time, we are out. Have a blessed day, guys.